Hello Bunkaholics and welcome to the grand update of the Vtuber Experience. While everyone was running around like headless chickens trying to figure out whose card game was better or more popular, I was tirelessly and meticulously working and toiling day and night to craft the most accurate and true-to-life depiction of what it's like to be a Vtuber in board game format. So much so that so many people reached out to me and praised it for being so accurate and true to life that it just blew their minds. And now, after a year, the latest update is finally out, the Roleplaying update. But what is the Vtuber Experience? Simply said, it's a fairly straightforward and simple board game. You roll the dice and you move across the spaces until you reach the Vtuber Awards. And that's where being simple and straightforward ends, and it gets a little bit more complicated because there's some gatekeeping involved. In order to enter the Vtuber Awards, you need to have 25 clout. But how does one get clout? Well, it's quite straightforward. As you can see on the board, there's multiple spaces with different colors. The white ones are the most simple one. You land on one and you get the corresponding number as clout, and that's basically it. That's all you get. The new update adds role-playing into it. As you can see, there's a green space with an R on it, which stands for re-debut. Once you cross it, you get to draw a Vtuber card, which in this case, you're a Boobatuber. You have large lore. It's both dynamic and captivating. Because of that, you get 2 clout at the start of each of your turns. Missed turns don't count. So you get to keep this card, although if you pass through another re-debut space, you will have to exchange it for a new one. And some of the cards might have some drawbacks, unlike this one. The other, more colorful spaces is where it gets a little bit more interesting. If, for example, you land on the red spot, you gotta draw a drama card. In this case, it's you woke up this morning and saw that you were followed by 50 plus new people. Every single one of them is a GFX artist. Lose 5 clout, which means I gotta go to -5. And you wanna keep that clout up. Otherwise, if you reach -50, you're out. You're cancelled and you lose the game. If I happen to land on the blue spot, you gotta draw a clout card. Oh wow, you found a rigger for your model who works for relatively cheap, works fast, makes amazing models, and is not a scam, and you're at the top of the waiting list? Gain 3 clout for witnessing a miracle. If you happen to be standing on a blue or a red spot and a different player bypasses you, this is where things get a little bit more spicy because you get to draw a collab card, a card that usually affects both players. The two of you play some lethal company. You don't do well, but plenty of memes and funny moments were made. You both gain 5 clout. That's a good card, and both of you win. However, if you were standing on a red spot and someone passed you by, you get a red collab card, which doesn't always end well. You're collabing with a male Vtuber. You give your collab partner 5 clout. You also lose 5 clout. Well, that's a devastating card, but trust me, it's not even the worst one. A fun mechanic that occurs if a player lands on the same spot as you is that player has to draw both a clout card and a collab card. And any player that bypasses both of you will have to get a collab card, but it affects all 3 of you, or 4 depending on how many people are actually standing on that space. On your Vtuber journey, you'll notice that you have some alternative paths. Those are the cons and expos path, a high risk, high reward kind of detour that will allow you to gamble your clout in order to win more or lose even more. So do you take the gamble or do you take the safer path to avoid risking your hard-earned clout? Obviously, as a Vtuber, you gotta take the gamble, and if you land on a purple spot, you gotta draw a card. In this case, we got, wow, someone actually recognized you in TwitchCon and even asked for your autograph. Gain 15 clout. That's what I'm talking about. And on the purple spaces, no collabs happen, so if people bypass each other, nothing happens, don't worry about it. Although there are some risks involved, which you'll have to find out for yourself. Once you accumulate 25 clout or more, you're allowed to enter the Vtuber Awards. Although, if you do not have 25 clout and you reach the end, you'll have to roll the dice, and depending on the number you get, you'll be sent back. For example, this space has a 4, so if you roll a 4, you'll be sent back right here to try again. Once you do have 25 clout, you get to draw one of the award cards. In this case, we get: you made it to the Vtuber Awards, but sadly, you were nominated alongside big corporate Vtubers. You obviously lose in all the nominations. Even though the card doesn't strictly say that you are a winner, the real winner in this game is decided by who has the most award cards. Bear in mind, some award cards might go to someone else, depending on how well you did in your Vtuber journey, so keep that in mind. So with all that said, you're probably wondering, wow, this looks like a convoluted, confusing, and borderline unfair game. To which I'll say, welcome to being a Vtuber. The newest update is already available and fully playable, now featuring 292 cards for you to experience, and considering that 98% of all these cards are based on real things that happened with Vtubers, I don't know, I think it says a lot about Vtubing as a whole. The game is also absolutely free. Well, technically, you still need to own Tabletop Simulator on Steam, but it's fully free on the workshop. You can just download it and play it right now. The link will be available down in the description. So thank you so much for the attention. I was extremely excited to show off the latest update to the best Vtuber board game out there. So I hope you give it a try and that you enjoy your journey in the Vtuber Experience.